Is Idaho one of the last decent places to raise a family? Let's find out. Before we get started, my name is Isaac Crace. I am a born and raised Idahoan. I love my state and I love sharing its treasures with everyone. I joined the family business, making me a third generation realtor here in the Boise area. I'm a straight shooting guy who doesn't sugarcoat the truth, and I tell it like it is. So if that's what you're looking for, you've come to the right place. My phone is ringing off the hook every single day with people just like you wanting to make the move to the Gem State, but in order for me to help you, you got to reach out first. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode because I have got a great one for you. I'm going to be going over the top reasons why Idaho is one of the greatest states to raise a family. So without further ado, let's get started with the first reason. Crime rates. What's one of the first things that comes to mind when thinking of criteria for a place to raise a family? Safety, right? Idaho has some of the lowest crime rates in the entire nation, coming in at the 10th safest in regards to violent crime and 3rd in regards to property crime. When I have people from out of state come into the area, one of the first things that they notice is when they're here, they're like, wow, I know I can carry a gun on me, but I don't even really feel the need to. And that's a great thing. And other people who have moved here, for instance, one of my clients who moved here from California, she used to be always nervous about having her daughters out without her out and about in the city. Now here she's like, yeah, you can totally go walk down the street or go walk to the store or anything like that. Like there's just no feeling of danger in the area, which is a great thing and peace of mind when you're raising a family. Number 2 is the cost of living. Although Idaho is seeing spikes in its cost of living in recent years, it really is the whole U.S. that is seeing increasing cost of living in regards because of the pandemic as well as inflation. According to a study by Merrick, Idaho ranked number 25 in regards to cost of living and affordability of living in the United States, so right in there at the middle of the pack. I wish I could have brought you some more recent or updated numbers, but this was the only study that I could find that had the most recent numbers in regards to cost of living. As far as utility costs go, the average house in Idaho, you're going to be looking at about $95 a month for electricity, $53 a month for natural gas, $93 a month for cable and internet, and $38 a month for water. Now, like I said, this is going to be the average for all the homes across Idaho, and this takes into account the old homes, which are not very energy efficient, as well as coming up new homes that are being built very energy efficient. For instance, in the Boise area, the building code requires homes to be built with 2x6 construction. So you've got thicker walls, better insulation. A lot of these homes are energy efficient or HERS rated, Energy Star rated, so they are very efficient. So your numbers can be, and likely very possibly could be, much lower than that as well. How about the cost for care for children in the area? According to the costforchildcare.com, the average price for childcare for infants in 2021 is going to be about $1,000. Now, like I said, this is from 21, so prices have gone up, so it's probably going to be more than that $1,000, but in 2021, that's about what it was. And in regards to toddlers and home-based family care, you're going to be looking at about $900 as of 2021, so it's probably going to be higher than that, like I said, but as of 2021, those are the numbers that we know. Number 3, good education. A solid education is one of the cornerstones for raising a kid. Idaho's education ranks number 23 in the U.S., which is a far cry from something to be proud of. However, Idaho's education, 94% of its K-12 education is through public schools, which is slightly higher than the 90%, which is the national average. But this isn't to say that there aren't private schools or charter schools that are available in the area as well. And one of the big things that comes up when you're talking about education in today's day and age is kind of the woke ideologies that are creeping their way into education. Now, if you didn't know, Idaho was the first state to ban CRT at a legislative level. For instance, in the Caldwell School District, they were recently tossing around a policy that would allow people whose gender identity are conforming. I'm not totally versed in that subject, but anyways, they were talking about that kind of thing. And hundreds of people showed up to the school board and protested it. So like I said, when things try to sneak in, it's met with fierce opposition from the community. Number 4, family activities. When you're looking for a place to start a family, your priorities are probably going to shift from like it was when you were in your early 20s or your teens, where you don't need necessarily as much of a nightlife, or you're more looking towards a more peaceful area and environment that has a lot of family-friendly activities. The nice thing about the Boise area when it comes to that is there is a little bit of everything for everyone. You can have a little bit of the nightlife, but you have a ton of laid back, peaceful things to do and raise your family. With tons of family-oriented options, from the parks that are scattered throughout the valley to green belts that go along local creeks and rivers, to just being able to get out in nature and show your kids the little things, like maybe teach them to fish or teach them about nature, that kind of thing. And there are a ton of businesses in the area that are geared towards educating kids, like the Zoo Boise, which is a huge zoo over in Boise. There's the Discovery Center in Boise that's over by Julia Davis Park, where your kids can learn all about like science and stuff like that. There's interactive exhibits, all sorts of fun stuff. When I was a kid, I loved to go there because there was a lot of stuff to do. And even family fun zones like Big Al's, which has arcades, bowling, that kind of thing, which may be geared towards the older kids. But there's also Wahoo's Family Fun Zone that has areas like bumper cars, and you've got go-karts, bowling, all sorts of stuff, laser tag. And they have a lot of stuff that's geared towards the younger kids as well, like jungle gyms. So it's a little bit for everyone. And right next door to that Wahoo's is going to be one of the largest water parks in the area, Roaring Springs. Number 5, no crowds. And probably don't want to tell this to somebody who has grown up in the area, because they'll probably shoot you if they hear you say that there's no crowds here. I'm just kidding. We won't do that. But in regards to 20 years ago, there's definitely more crowds. But in comparison to big cities like California or New York or just anywhere like that, San Francisco, you don't have the bustling crowds and all the hustle that's going on. This area really is laid back. And as your family grows, you kind of need somewhere that has a little bit of stability and serenity. And Boise offers that while having the perfect mix of urban amenities and still having the serenity of a small rural area. If you like this video, you might like some others that I've done, like this one right here and this one right here. And until next week, I'm Isaac Crace with Top Idaho Real Estate, your third generation Idaho Realtor.